Hello, everybody. I am so glad you've returned. I am Mickey. I am not your mama's minister, and today we're going to be talking about marriage. Specifically, not the marriage part, but getting to the marriage part. And we are doing this in honor of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Congratulations to them, many blessings to them. More power to them. And I thought it was awesome that today is also the feast day of Anne Boleyn. And of course, Anne Boleyn is a folk saint for, amongst other things, marriage. And so that's kind of super duper awesome. And so let's say you're in a relationship, everything's going great, both of you are in love, or all of you are in love, and you want to get married. You all want to get married, and I'm not talking about um, the situations where one person wants to get married and the other person doesn't. I'm more talking about the well, we're both kind of lazy and not haven't made the move, but you're both wanting to be married, and so there are specific mojos that you can do or workings that you can do having to do with, sorry, I do have to check this, having to do with forcing the situation. So making the person actually propose, or making you as a couple move forward with that. And so there is tapping your lover's ring finger with a rosemary sprig 3 times. That is just to spiritually encourage that person to go ahead and make a proposal or accept a proposal. There are a ton of those having to do mystical workings having to do with marriage, or uh, moving things forward to marriage, having to do with menstrual blood. Of course, I can't do that anymore because I, thank goodness, don't have that problem anymore, or that bodily function anymore. Yay. Um, but mixing menstrual blood in with food and feeding it to your partner. You can do this voluntarily, so you can sit there and discuss it if your partner is also into doing any mystical work. Or if you want to do secretive, that's all on you, sweetheart. Um, and there are some situations where you sit there and you go, I don't care if it's manipulative, I don't care if it's forcing the situation. We've been together for a year and I'm tired of waiting, and my mama is saying that I'm nothing more than a two-bit whore and blah, 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 blah. By the way, don't call your daughters a two-bit whore, by the way. Um, let's see, what else? I'm half asleep right now, so you'll have to forgive me. But there is, so having to do with the menstrual blood, that can be used for love workings as well as forcing a proposal or forcing a marriage. So you aren't limited with that. And vice versa also works. Seminal fluid mixed in with the food. You do have to have focus. So, it's not like a blowjob is going to cause your honey bun to propose to you. However, you mixing it in with food uh, or drink is definitely going to, and with the intent, is going to have a better effect. Let's see. I talked about the rosemary sprig. There are things like carrying around the hair of your partner, tying. I love this one. In fact, I've recommended this to other people, to other clients, and they've found great success with it. Go and buy a cheap wedding band and wrap it with your lover's hair. Now, if your lover has short hair, I came up with this, like, I didn't read it anywhere. I'm sure that somebody else came up with this as well. But you take a few pieces of the hair and you put a little strip of glue, super glue or nail glue, and then you glue that hair onto it, and you wear that ring. You don't even have to wear it on the wedding finger. You can put it on a chain, you can put it in your wallet, but it is connecting your lover to a wedding band. And so, again, sympathetic magic and so forth, the same thing, almost all magic is kind of sympathetic. Let's see here. Oh my gosh. Petitioning people, whether it's deities, marriage deities, hearth or home deities, that's always a good one. Um, uh, Folk saints like Anne Boleyn or saints. Can't remember if I already talked about that, but pardon me. There are a ton of different ways that you can force uh, force a change. There we go. Force a change. And I definitely recommend, I mean, if you're looking at this ethically, which you should be, magic should always, and mystical things should also always be ethical. Um, you know, I have had some people in my life that, they're together for a month and they're getting married. Now that's not judging because I did the same thing. Um, but you definitely want to look at, do I know this person well enough that I want to be legally bound to them? Now, if you're not legally bound to them, then that's fine. It's a much easier process to walk away from a hand fasting or a common law marriage than it is to walk away from a legal marriage, no matter how cheap you try to go with a divorce. And my beautiful ex-husband and I can both tell you, no matter how cheap you go with for a divorce, it's still going to cost you some money, and it's still going to be traumatic, and it's still going to be dramatic, even if both people want it. So, I would definitely recommend that you know the person that you are trying to force a proposal with, and not be doing something to somebody that you're not already in a committed, healthy relationship with. The other thing is that because we do live in a society where science and technology is fucking fantastic and awesome, you want to be aware of the fact that you can be charged with something if you are mixing your bodily fluids in with something that they eat or drink. So I want to impress upon you that you do run the risk that if you mix your menstrual blood in with his spaghetti sauce and he gets wind of it or figures it out, that he can charge you with something. I'm not sure what, but I know that he can. It's just like public curses can be, people can be charged with intimidation. So you want to be aware of that. Another thing is most of the proposal mystical workings that you can do that are simple also require kind of a more open process, like touching the person's ring finger with a sprig of rosemary. And so they're going to wonder, why the fuck are you touching my ring finger with a sprig of rosemary? And if they know that you are into mystical practices, then it is entirely possible that they could get on the internet and say, what does this do? So you want to be aware of the fact that some of the simple ones that don't take a long process and don't take a lot of equipment or supplies to do it, and time consuming and so forth, are going to be a little bit more noticeable, or possibly in some cases a lot more noticeable by your partner. So if you're not wanting to make it public to your partner and say, hey, I'd like us to do this mystical work together, in order to kind of move things forward with us in a relationship. Unfortunately, most of the time when people come to me and they're wanting a wedding proposal or marriage proposal, it is that their partner is not ready for that yet. And again, like I try to impress every time we talk about anything, remember to use ethics. Remember to make sure that it's righteous. And remember to realize that if you do a love working on somebody, that you are doing this with the knowledge that you could be forcing them into being with you when they don't want to be with you, or forcing them into marrying you when they don't want to marry you, or when they're not ready for those. And so just be aware of that. Whatever you decide to do, that's on you. And so as long as you are taking responsibility for it and recognizing I am willing to take the risk, one of my greatest folk saints is Lonely Soul, Anna Masola, and we've talked about her before. And it's the same type of thing that we talked about with her is if you're willing to take the risk, if you're willing to say, I'll take that hit, I'll take that, I don't believe in karma, but I'll take that karmic hit, I'll take that responsibility because this is something that I want so bad that I'm willing to do anything for it. And so once you recognize that, then it's on you. But yeah, so if you have any questions about specifics having to do with proposal workings or marriage workings or love workings, anything like that, drop me a line. I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. And of course, I am always, that is my job. So if you want to hire me to do any of those, then just, like I said, drop me a line and we'll discuss the details. And I think that might be it for today. Again, many blessings to the happily wed couple, and I hope they do well. I really like both of them, what I've seen of them. And I think that's it. Anything else? Nope. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, and comment, and I will talk to you soon.